As we report back to the nation on the 24-25 festive season road safety campaign and share with you the preliminary data that we have collected, it is important to stress right at the outset that this country of ours has a very, very long way to go in reducing fatalities and accidents on our roads. At the launch of the festive season road safety campaign on the 1st of December, we said we were aiming to change driver behaviour, enhance our law enforcement actions, and work together with everyone in the broader ecosystem to reduce fatalities and crashes. The campaign was based on 4 pillars: responsible driving, pedestrian safety, enforcement and education, and of course collaboration amongst all stakeholders. Stringent monitoring was put in place on 20 priority routes, alongside our patrolling and law enforcement interventions. The Department of Transport and the Road Traffic Management Corporation launched a communications campaign that targeted messaging on radio, television, and social media throughout the period. We partnered with civil society groups and faith-based organizations who helped to spread the road safety message in their communities and to ensure that all road users were aware of their roles and responsibilities and the impacts of their actions. Ladies and gentlemen, our traffic law enforcement officers conducted more than 997 roadblocks throughout the country over the festive season. These roadblocks were joint operations between local, provincial and national traffic police authorities, the South African Police Services, and also included other law enforcement agencies such as the Border Management Authority and the Cross-Border Traffic Authority. To give you a sense of the appalling lack of respect for traffic laws, I want to share a few important numbers with you so that we get to understand the seriousness of the problem we are facing. Our enforcement officers, over 1.5 months, issued 711,000 traffic fines for various offences. 23,000 fines were issued to drivers who didn't wear seatbelts. It's a no-brainer to wear a seatbelt. 16,000 motorists were fined for using their cell phones. 16,000 vehicles were found to be unroadworthy. To clamp down on drunken driving and speeding, our officers arrested 9,500 motorists, of whom 3,840 were arrested for being drunk on our roads. A total of 414 drivers were arrested for driving at high speed, 5 of them for driving in excess of 200 kilometers per hour. Tragically, South Africa witnessed 1,502 deaths, resulting from 1,234 fatal crashes during this festive season. I want to convey our heartfelt condolences to every family who has lost a loved one during this season, and I also want to convey our well wishes to the many thousands of people who are still in hospital recovering from their injuries. The number of fatalities represents a year-on-year increase of 5.3%, or 70 deaths compared with last year's season, and 4.2, or in numerical terms, a 50 increase in the number of crashes that involved fatalities. This is most regrettable because it reverses the incremental strides made in recent years. 6 provinces reported increases in the number of fatalities, namely KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, Free State, Limpopo, Northern Cape, and Northwest. The Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and the Free State recorded increases of 70, 54, and 21 fatalities as compared with the previous year. Gauteng, Western Cape, and Mpumalanga recorded decreases of 76, 23, and 15 fatalities respectively. I want to commend the provincial MECs and particularly the MEC of Gauteng, who's with us today, for the efforts that have yielded positive results. But I also want to commend all MECs and indeed all national and provincial enforcement agencies, officers, road safety personnel, emergency services personnel, professionals, and of course, members of Parliament, led by our chairperson, who worked very long hours, sacrificing their own family time, and did their utmost to help us save lives of all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, pedestrian fatalities remain a huge concern. 41%, or almost half of all road fatalities, are pedestrians. The highest percentage of pedestrian fatalities is in the big urban centres of Gauteng, Western Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal. Gauteng had the highest pedestrian fatality rate at 63%, followed by Western Cape at 53%, and KwaZulu-Natal at 44%. Ladies and gentlemen, these preliminary statistics are deeply disturbing, but the numbers on paper don't tell us anything about the human story, about the tragedies which struck so many families across our country, and about the pain they currently endure at losing a loved one. All the more disturbing is the fact that most crashes and deaths are as a result of human error. Our research indicates that 87% of crashes occurred because of human error. This includes hit and runs, jaywalking, fatigue, loss of control over vehicles, speeding, drunken driving, and of course reckless overtaking. I want to say this very clearly, loudly, so that we as South Africans hear. All of us have to change our behaviour on the roads. I want to thank the Deputy Minister and the MECs for taking charge and assisting in ensuring that the road safety campaign was conducted across the different levels of government, enabling us to share data and resources. In conclusion, we do remain steadfast in our commitment to confront lawlessness and dangerous driving. I want to appeal to motorists to exercise care and patience on our roads, but I want those who break the law to understand that we will be working ever closer and closer with our law enforcement agencies to make sure that those of you who do transgress the laws face enforcement measures, and there will be no way out. Let's work together to make our roads safer. Let's change behaviour. Let's save lives.